The distress call, the crystalline towers of Vraxia Prime trembled under another bombardment, sending cascades of sapphire dust into the thin atmosphere. Governor Kelthax pressed his translucent wings against his body, watching helplessly as the Void Reaper's dark vessels carved through his planet's defenses like plasma through ice. "Emergency channels are open," his communications officer reported, antenna quivering with fear. But who would dare challenge the Reapers? Kelthax's compound eyes reflected the burning sky outside. The Vraxians were scientists and philosophers, their military consisting of automated defense platforms now reduced to floating debris. He touched the transmission panel with a trembling appendage. "This is Governor Kelthax of Vraxia Prime. We are under attack by Void Reaper forces. Our shields are failing. Any civilization within range, please help us. We have 2 million souls here, including refugees from 3 other worlds. We cannot evacuate in time." The message rippled through subspace, reaching the grand chamber of the Galactic Assembly on Neutral Station Harmony Point. Representatives from 47 species filled the amphitheater, their forms ranging from the gaseous Netheri to the silicon-based Quartzians. Assembly Speaker Vorthan, a serpentine Cytherian, coiled around his podium as the distress call played. His scales shifted from neutral gray to troubled purple. "The situation is grave. Vraxia Prime lies in the outer rim 17 light cycles from our nearest military outpost. The Void Reapers respect no treaties," buzzed Ambassador Zack of the Hive Confederation. "They consume entire civilizations. What force could reach Vraxia in time?" The chamber erupted in heated debate. The Aquarian delegate suggested a long-range missile strike, while the energy-based luminary proposed diplomatic solutions. None had ships fast enough or weapons strong enough to mount an effective rescue. A small figure stood in the section reserved for newer members. Ambassador Sarah Chen, barely 2 meters tall and lacking any natural armor or weapons, seemed almost fragile among the assembled aliens. Yet her voice carried clearly through the chamber. "Earth can respond." The debate ceased. Every sensory organ in the room focused on the human representative. Several delegates unconsciously moved away from her. "Ambassador Chen," Speaker Vorthan said carefully, "while we appreciate humanity's enthusiasm, the Void Reapers are not mere pirates. They have destroyed civilizations far older than yours." Chen's lips curved in what the translator identified as a smile, though many species found the expression unsettling. "Speaker, Earth's fleet can reach Vraxia Prime in 11 hours. "Impossible," chittered the insectoid representative. "No. Drive technology can. Human engineering operates on different principles," Chen interrupted. "We developed quantum skip drives by studying the migration patterns of Earth's Arctic terns. Birds that fly from pole to pole taught us about efficient long-distance travel." The Galactic Assembly's xenobiologist, Dr. Thrix, cleared his throat tubes. "Fellow delegates, perhaps we should consider the human offer. Their species evolved on a Class 12 death world. Earth's gravity would crush most of us. Its atmosphere is corrosive. Its surface temperatures vary by over 100 degrees. Humans hunt for recreation and consider skydiving entertainment. They eat capsaicin for pleasure," added the botanical representative, leaves rustling in distress. Ambassador Chen maintained her composure. "We're aware our evolutionary path was unusual. Earth tried to kill our ancestors daily. We learned to adapt, overcome, and thrive. Now we offer those same survival skills to help Vraxia Prime." Speaker Vorthan's scales shifted through several colors before settling on decisive gold. "The Assembly recognizes Earth's offer. Ambassador Chen, you have authorization to deploy your forces." Chen nodded and activated her neural implant. Across human space, the message spread through quantum entanglement networks. On Luna Base, Admiral Jackson Mitchell received the alert during his morning coffee. The stimulant drink that would be lethal to most alien species barely registered as he read the mission parameters. "All hands, this is Admiral Mitchell. We have a code-red rescue operation. Prep the fleet for immediate departure. We're pulling strangers from the fire." The response was immediate. Humanity's distributed fleet, scattered across dozens of systems to avoid appearing threatening to their alien neighbors, began converging on predetermined coordinates. Ships emerged from asteroid fields where they'd been mining, from gas giant atmospheres where they'd been harvesting fuel, from deep space where they'd been running training exercises. The EAS Resilience, a kilometer-long dreadnought, dropped out of hyperspace near Jupiter. Its captain, Maria Volkov, had been exploring the European oceans with her daughter just hours before. Now she stood on her bridge watching as escort frigates formed up around her flagship. Fleet status? She asked her XO. 17 capital ships, 43 escorts, and 9 hospital ships responding, Captain. The Australians are bringing their new stealth corvettes. The Mars Coalition is contributing their entire rapid response group. Volkov nodded. Time to show the galaxy what human stubborn really means. Back at the Galactic Assembly, representatives monitored humanity's mobilization with mixed feelings. The Peaceful Alliance members worried about unleashing the Deathworlders, while military species like the warrior caste Krillians watched with professional interest. Notice their response time, observed General Krax, the Krillian military attaché. No bureaucracy, no debate. They simply move. Disturbing efficiency, agreed the Hive representative. They coordinate without a hive mind. Ambassador Chen remained in the chamber, fielding questions about human capabilities. The inquiries revealed the depth of misunderstanding about her species. Your people truly volunteer for dangerous missions? Asked the comfort-seeking Velvani representative. It's in our nature, Chen explained. Humans have a saying, no one left behind. When children fall into rivers, strangers dive in to save them. When buildings burn, people run inside to help. Others escape. When someone calls for help, humans answer. But the Void Reapers have technology beyond your current level, protested the technocracy representative. Logic dictates retreat and preservation of your own species. Chen's smile turned predatory. Logic also once dictated that humans couldn't fly. We built airplanes. Logic said we couldn't leave our planet. We went to the moon. Logic says we can't defeat the Void Reapers. We'll see about that. The human fleet assembled at the edge of Earth's system, a collection of vessels that looked crude compared to the elegant designs of older civilizations. Human ships were angular, practical things, flying bricks with engines, as one diplomat had described them. But they were fast, heavily armed, and crewed by a species that considered impossible odds a challenge rather than a deterrent. Admiral Mitchell stood aboard the command carrier EAS Defiance, reviewing the tactical data. The Void Reapers had never faced human opponents. Most species surrendered or fled when confronted by the genocidal raiders. Humans had a different tradition. All ships, this is Mitchell. You know the mission. Civilians are dying while we talk. The Void Reapers think they're the apex predators in this galaxy. Time to introduce them to the species that turned wolves into puppies and made the atom our servant. Quantum drives engaged. Let's remind the universe why they call our world a death world. The human fleet activated their quantum skip drive simultaneously. To observers, they seemed to stretch into lines of light before vanishing entirely. The Galactic Assembly's sensors registered unprecedented energy readings as humanity's rescue force punched through the fabric of spacetime itself. Ambassador Chen watched the readings with quiet satisfaction. The other representatives had moved, even further away from her, as if humanity's warrior nature might be contagious. Your species is rushing towards certain death, the Pacifist Coalition representative said softly. The Void Reapers have never been defeated. Chen's expression remained serene. That's what they said about polio, smallpox, and cancer. Humans have a bad habit of killing things that try to kill us. Sometimes it just takes a while to figure out how. As the human fleet rocketed toward Vraxia Prime, their quantum wakes sending ripples through subspace, the galaxy held its breath. The Deathworlders were mobilized, and nothing would ever be the same. The impossible rescue. The human fleet exploded back into normal space on the edge of the Vraxia system, their arrival sending gravitational shockwaves through local space. Admiral Mitchell gripped his command chair as the EAS Defiance shuddered. From the translation, his tactical display immediately populated with red markers. Void Reaper vessels surrounding Vraxia Prime like vultures around dying prey. Tactical assessment, Mitchell ordered. 37 Reaper capital ships, over 100 escort craft, his tactical officer reported. They've established a blockade pattern around the planet. Vraxian defenses are down to 15%. And they haven't noticed us yet, added the sensor officer. Their formation suggests they expect no resistance. Mitchell smiled grimly. Let's change that. All ships, execute Operation Sledgehammer. The human fleet split into 3 battle groups with practiced precision. Where most civilizations favored elegant formations and complex tactics, humans approached warfare like they approached everything else, with brutal efficiency and adaptability, learned from millions of years of survival. On Vraxia Prime, Governor Kelthax watched his tactical display in disbelief as unknown vessels appeared at the system's edge. His aide's wings fluttered nervously. More raiders? No, Kelthax whispered, his compound eyes focusing on the energy signatures. Those are human ships? The lead Void Reaper vessel, a massive dreadnought designated by humans as Target Alpha, detected the new arrivals. Its commander, a being of pure malevolent energy housed in a mechanical shell, analyzed the crude vessels with contempt. Primitive solid matter ships, it broadcast to its fleet. Destroy them. The Reaper fleet began to turn, but humans didn't wait for formal battle lines. Captain Rodriguez of the destroyer EAS Mongoose had been a street fighter in Sao Paulo before joining the service. He approached space combat the same way. Hit them while they're turning, he ordered. All forward guns, maximum yield. The human ships opened fire while still accelerating, their railguns and plasma cannons lighting up space. The Reaper's shields, designed to counter energy weapons, struggled against the human preference for kinetic weapons. Massive tungsten rounds accelerated to significant fractions of light speed. But it was the boarding parties that truly shocked both sides. As human ships closed to what most species considered suicidal range, assault shuttles launched from their bellies. Marines in powered armor, designed to function in environments from methane atmospheres to hard vacuum, rocketed toward enemy. Vessels Lieutenant Colonel James Rhino Anderson led the first wave. A former rugby player, he treated zero-gravity combat like a particularly violent scrum. His squad's shuttle punched through a Reaper destroyer's shields through sheer velocity and attached to its hull with magnetic clamps. Breach in 3. Anderson counted down, placing a shaped charge against the alien hull. The explosion tore a hole in the Reaper ship, and Anderson dove through without hesitation. Inside, he found himself facing the ship's defense systems, automated plasma turrets, and combat drones. Anderson's suit absorbed hits that would have vaporized most beings, his armor designed to survive Earth's harshest environments, from volcanic vents to Arctic blizzards. "Push forward," he roared, his squad's weaponry turning the corridor into a killing field. They moved with brutal efficiency, placing explosive charges on critical systems identified by Earth's xenotech specialists. In the Galactic Assembly, representatives watched the battle unfold through long-range sensors. The human tactic seemed insane, closing to point-blank range, ramming when necessary, boarding enemy vessels mid-combat. "They fight like primitives," gasped the Advanced Systems representative. "No," corrected General Krax, professional admiration in his voice. "They fight like apex predators. No hesitation, no mercy, only victory." Captain Volkov aboard the EAS Resilience faced down 3 Reaper dreadnoughts. Her ship shuddered under their energy weapons, but human vessels were built tough, their hulls, forged in the same facilities that created deep-sea exploration vessels, capable of surviving crushing pressures. "Armor holding at 70%, her damage control officer reported. "Return fire, all batteries. Launch nuclear torpedoes, full spread." The Reapers had encountered nuclear weapons before, but nothing like human variants. Earth's engineers, raised on science fiction and military history, had created horrors that exploited every loophole in physics. Kasaba howitzer warheads turned nuclear explosions into focused jets of star-hot plasma. Bomb-pumped lasers converted nuclear detonations into coherent energy beams. One Reaper dreadnought took a direct hit from a Kasaba howitzer and simply ceased to exist, its molecular structure disrupted by temperatures exceeding those found in stellar cores. But the Void Reapers adapted quickly, their ancient intelligence processing human tactics and developing counters. They began targeting human engines, recognizing the mechanical weak points in human design. Admiral Mitchell watched as the hospital ship EAS Mercy took critical damage, its engines failing. The ship, loaded with medical personnel and rescue equipment, drifted helplessly toward Vraxia Prime's gravity well. "Mercy, this is Command. Can you restore power?" "Negative, Command. We're dead stick. 1,500 souls aboard, plus medical supplies for the planet." Mitchell didn't hesitate. All ships, converging fire on Mercy's attackers. Defiance moving to assist. The human fleet's response was immediate. Ships broke formation, taking hits meant for the hospital ship, buying time for rescue operations. The destroyer EAS Bulldog, already heavily damaged, interposed itself between Mercy and a Reaper cruiser. "This is Captain Park. We're taking heavy fire, but we'll hold. Get those medical supplies to the surface." The Bulldog exploded moments later, but not before launching its own crew and escape pods, many of which continued firing handheld weapons at the enemy, even as they tumbled through space. On Vraxia Prime's surface, the population watched in awe as humans died to protect strangers. Governor Kelthax's aide turned to him, wings trembling with emotion. "They sacrificed themselves for us. We are not even their species." "Perhaps," Kelthax said slowly, "that is what makes them strong." The battle reached its crescendo when Admiral Mitchell executed humanity's most desperate gambit. The quantum skip drives that allowed faster-than-light travel had an overlooked feature. They could be overloaded. "All damaged ships prepare for Protocol 7, Mitchell ordered. Across the fleet, crippled vessels began their final attacks. Ships too damaged to fight conventionally activated their quantum drives without proper calculations, creating localized space-time distortions. The EAS Armstrong, its hull breached in a dozen places, aimed itself at the largest Reaper dreadnought and engaged its drive. The resulting explosion wasn't just physical, it was a tear in reality itself. The Reaper vessel, caught in the quantum storm, found its atoms scattered across several light years. The tide turned. Reaper ships, faced with an enemy that weaponized their own deaths, began to retreat. Their cold logic couldn't process a species that grew stronger when cornered, that turned certain defeat into Pyrrhic victory. As the last Reaper vessel fled the system, the human fleet regrouped. They had lost 12 ships and over 3,000 personnel. But Vraxia Prime was safe. The quantum distortions would make the system impassable to large fleets for months, creating a natural barrier against future attacks. Landing craft descended to Vraxia Prime's surface, carrying medical supplies and rescue personnel. Human doctors and nurses trained in xenobiology worked alongside Vraxian healers to treat the wounded. Their efficiency in crisis, honed by earthquakes and hurricanes on Earth, saved thousands of lives. Governor Kelthax met Admiral Mitchell. During the relief operations, the human looked tired but satisfied, his uniform torn and bloodied from when his bridge had taken a direct hit. "Why?" Kelthax asked simply. "Why did your people die for us?" Mitchell's weathered face creased in a sad smile. "On Earth, we have stories about helping travelers on dangerous roads, about pulling strangers from burning buildings. It's what makes us human. Besides," he added with a fiercer grin, "we really don't like bullies." Back at the Galactic Assembly, the atmosphere had changed completely. Ambassador Chen stood before the gathering, no longer isolated. Representatives who had previously kept their distance now pressed closer, seeking to understand these Deathworlders who had done the impossible. "The Void Reapers have been turned back for the first time in recorded history," Speaker Vorthan announced, his scales bright with amazement. "Earth's intervention has saved not just Vraxia Prime but shown the galaxy that resistance is possible." "Your tactics were unorthodox," the military council representative said carefully. Chen nodded. "We call it human ingenuity. When you evolve on a world where everything tries to kill you, you learn to turn disadvantages into advantages. You weaponize whatever you can, even your own ships, if necessary." But the losses, protested the pacifist coalition. So many humans died. They died saving 2 million lives, Chen replied. On Earth we have medals for people who jump on grenades to save their squad. We build monuments to those who stayed at their posts during disasters to help others escape. This is who we are. The Assembly voted unanimously to offer Earth full membership in the Galactic Defense Council. More importantly, dozens of worlds requested cultural exchanges with humanity. The Deathworlders were no longer feared. They were respected. In the weeks that followed, human engineers worked with Vraxian scientists to develop new shield technologies based on quantum distortion fields. Human medics trained alien healers in trauma response. Human and alien children played together in Vraxia, Prime's restored parks, and in the depths of space in whatever dimension they inhabited. The Void Reapers updated their protocols. They had encountered a new apex predator, one that didn't just survive adversity, but thrived on it. For the first time in their ancient existence, they knew fear. The galaxy had called for help, and the Deathworlders had answered. Nothing would ever be the same. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.